Yes.
Well, next up on the Factor Uncensored, it's a video that's gone viral. A man in a Friendswood cell phone store hurling vile, racist insults at the clerk behind the counter. Take a listen.
So your boss, Ryan, what's your name? Mo? What the name is that? What is your actual real name? Mo what? God.
All right, you know what?
You know what? I really don't give a what some has to say. I really don't give a about some Arab that I've been killing their kind for 6 months.
Okay.
Almost two, actually.
Super nice.
2 years. 6 months on the last country I was in.
Okay.
Because people like this are the reason our country's going what it's going to. Because I've been killing his kind for longer than you've probably been alive.
I'm older than you, dude.
How old do you think you are? How old do you think I am?
How old do I think I am? I'm 55 years old.
That's cute.
Okay.
His kind, I've been killing for almost 20 years. I've been on 5 different continents. Hence the reason he brought his uncle to come handle for him.
And that idiot is 38-year-old Joey Derek Christian, was charged with public intoxication and disorderly conduct. This mugshot is from his DWI arrest back on April 8th, and it says, "I'm sorry." Too late to say you're sorry. Here to discuss this is Ambreen Hernandez from CAIR-Houston, community activist Derek Muhammad, director Amir Valenia, and former congressional candidate and businessman Hamid Parvizian. We want to welcome you guys to the Factor Uncensored. So, Hamid, when you saw this, did that piss you off?
I'm infuriated because we see it every day more and more as everything is growing, and we see there's so many factors in that. The way he talked down to the woman, the way that he's talking to an Arab, a person who's supposed to be protecting our country and protecting our citizens, comes in and with that much anger, it infuriates me. And now it's just spreading more and more across the U.S. and everywhere else we go.
Are you surprised at this? You're with CAIR. You hear about these types of complaints all the time. You see it all the time.
That's right. That's something that we're actually keeping an eye out for, as we do recognize that there is a rise in hate crimes around the nation. Unfortunately, many of them are not reported either. So we're definitely urging our community members to report these hate crimes as they come along, because they're very alive and real.
Derek Muhammad, you two have fought against situations like this, individuals like this. What do you do with a person like this who is so filled with hate?
I don't know if I should answer that. Honestly, I should answer that question, but it's just another case of how hatred, bigotry, and intolerance is becoming the norm in this country, and it's becoming too tolerable. Ask yourself the question: if this man were an Arab or a Muslim and he spoke those type of violent words in public, he would be put on some terrorist list. If he were a black man and he said words like that in public, he would be he might be shot, but he would be labeled what's called a black identity extremist. This man was arrested, but he was charged with a quote-unquote misdemeanor. So what type of list do they have for Caucasian men who make threats like this? And his comments about killing this man's kind for the past 20 years, listen, I'm a former U.S. Marine, and I was in the Gulf War, so I've been in combat theaters as such. I believe that if he has been a member of the military...
And we're not definite on that.
We're not definite on that right now. If he has been, then his service needs to be investigated. But what I don't want to get lost in the conversation is the professional way that the employee continued to handle the situation throughout this whole episode. I think that whoever he works for, I don't know if it was AT&T or... Yeah, they need to promote him.
Employee of the month.
He needs his own store.
Amir, seeing this, do you think it rises to the level of a hate crime?
It sort of does. I mean, when I watched it, obviously, I thought, like everybody else, this is ignorance at its best. But when he started talking about being in the military, it's a disgrace to the men and women that put their lives down for the country every day. And if he really was in there, the supervisors of him should definitely look into some kind of disciplinary action towards him.
How do we, as a society, address these type of people? Obviously, the woman who was in the videos in the cell phone store started recording him and confronted him. Should we all do that?
We should. I think that in some ways I feel like it might have been a safer situation because she was there, and thankfully she was there. One of the big things that concerns me also is this situation takes it to another level. It is supposedly, allegedly, an ex-military person. If it's stolen valor, that's one concern. But if he was, how are our military right now have been taught to treat people as labels in many ways so they can perform their jobs, but are we also giving our military, when they come home, a way to assimilate back into this country? And that takes us to another problem as well, which is really concerning, that where's that taking where? And Mohammed himself said he was terrified, and nobody should be terrified going into their job and their life each day.
And if people have these types of problems, how can they reach out to CAIR here in Houston to get your help and guidance?
Yeah, definitely. Feel free to give us a call, send us an email, or reach out to us on social. We do offer free bystander workshops to our community. If there's anyone that's interested in learning more as to how they can be a hero themselves, right, if they're ever put in this situation. This woman is incredible for her bravery, you know. She could have easily ran out of the store, but she didn't. So we definitely implore anyone who's interested in this to reach out to our office or to report these crimes.
All right, we want to thank you guys for joining us here on The Factor Uncensored. We'll be back with more Factor Uncensored. We leave you with DJ Paul, who's in the mix tonight.